Should I fix the glare on the top and that's closer to the right? Wide feet. It's not too distracting, is it? Not really. I think it's fun.
Welcome. It's nice to see a full house again. I'm glad all the parents could make it this morning. We have sent out a link to the live stream of this if you have any family members who are not here. It's in your My School account, so you can forward that, and that will stay on YouTube as well for people to check out. Couple of business items first of all. If you haven't already, can you please take your cellular devices and make sure that they are on silent so that we don't have any interruptions while our students are speaking. I always like to give fair warning to you that because we're recording from the rear there, sometimes with the mic there, conversations in the audience do get picked up, and suddenly they're on the interweb. So just to give you a little word warning there, be aware. Okay. Now it was also pointed out to me that today's schedule indicated that this would last from 9:15 till 2:15. So in order to accommodate that, I have prepared a rather lengthy series of monologues that I'm going to fill in some time here. No, we'll run approximately an hour. So that was clearly a misprint. I apologize, but we'll be about 1 hour. Okay? So this morning, our last day of speeches, we have about 11 of our students speaking. This is an opportunity for them to speak about something that is meaningful to them. We have not told them what to speak about, so it's always very, very enlightening to hear what's on your minds and to hear directly from them. So I hope you enjoy this morning and that you walk out of here feeling like our grads are remarkable, because they really, really are. The only person I'm going to introduce this morning is our first speaker, and then they will flow right through and introduce themselves as they come on up. So our first speaker this morning always takes more determination. Can you please help me in welcoming Charlotte Bennett?
Good morning. I'm Charlotte Bennett, and I would like to begin by welcoming parents, teachers, peers, friends, and family today, and thanking you all for your presence. When I was small, my mom told me I could be anything. Being the dreamer I am, I confidently told her I want to be a bear. I mean, they seem to live the dream, sleep all day, just warm and fuzzy. But this marked the first time my mom would question my aspirations and caution me that I could be almost anything, just maybe not a bear. This is one of those memories that sticks with you through life. We all have these memories that define aspects of our lives. The first of these came for me in kindergarten. I'm sure you all remember 100 Day. Parents definitely can't forget the hassle and joy that came with counting, packing, and recounting 100 things, probably more than once. This day was my first introduction to the true size of the number, which was huge. More than huge. It was ginormous to 2-foot me. I brought in 100 dinosaurs that day. 100 dinosaurs that I could name and classify. This number is still huge to me. In January of 8th grade, I was finishing my 100th month of school. In May of 5th grade, I was only 100 months away from graduation. And on March 6th, we all became only 100 days away from graduation and the end of our high school careers. At 4 years old, this is when I began to realize how ginormous the world is, far bigger than 100 dinosaurs. Yet no matter how big I learned the numbers could get, how large my city, province, country, and the world was, my family only had 3 words for me to remember: honesty, integrity, and humor. This is our family motto. To introduce you to my family, there is my sister, my vivacious mom, and her 4 older brothers, my dedicated dad and his 2 sisters, a plentiful amount of cousins, and 4 healthy grandparents to round it all out. Now that you've been introduced, I'm extending to you an invitation for a Saturday with the family. I invite you to Rocket Day, which is a grand annual event. As you pull up to my grandparents' property, the wind's whistles carry with them the lark's melodies intertwined with giggles and guffaws, until you are startled by a violent interruption. Seconds later, a sparkling homemade spacecraft hurtles across the sky. This is Rocket Day, where I can guarantee you 100 spacecrafts are launched and far more than 100 laughs are heard. As you can imagine, the McManus-Bennett's family has a lot of fun. Humor has been ingrained in me for longer than my memory grants. My mom says I learned to make people laugh as a baby, and I never stopped. My family taught me the importance of humor as it infuses the fun into life and keeps stresses at bay. Honesty commences our motto, as being authentic isn't always as easy as it seems. A lack of honesty and authenticity makes it easy to lose your values, a lesson many of us learned through our high school experience. Integrity is knowing your values. It puts your moral principles on display. My family consistently shows me how a person of good integrity exudes sincerity and trust. I'm truly grateful for the family I've been born into, and I remain conscious of these qualities: honesty, integrity, and humor in everything I do. The only thing that I could see as ginormous as 100 at 4 was dinosaurs. They seemed 100 feet tall and 100 pounds heavy. I always knew I wanted to be a paleontologist. When I was small, I was having tea parties with Diplodocus, not dolls. Many speculated this would be a phase and the 100 dinosaurs would soon be forgotten. Yet quite the opposite happened. My interest in the prehistoric beasts only grew. I went on to contact my idol, Dr. Don Henderson, curator of dinosaurs at the Royal Tyrrell Museum, and even to complete 3 science fair projects under his mentorship. While working on these projects, Dr. Henderson often forgot that I was only 11 and would speak to me as if I was Dr. Bennett's already. His mentorship inspired my interest further. Seeing all the mystical fossils hidden in the back, still being examined, and getting up close and personal with a real Ornithomimus fossil was mind-blowing. Dr. Henderson even let me be the second person in the world to see their new discovery of what was essentially dinosaur puke. When asked for name suggestions, I didn't pause and told him I would name it after my sister. Love you well, and lucky for you they chose something else. In the past 2 years, I have had my eye caught by the world of medicine, by all of the incredible advances being made. My captivation with the past inspired a curiosity of the future. Dr. Hoffman was the teacher who always cultivated my love of science here at Aberdeen Hall. This year, she has continued to inspire me and deepen my love of science through her mentorship and geology class. Dr. Hoffman, you rock. As I look to my future and wonder which route to pursue, the past or the future, I choose both. I am keeping 100 options open. This September, I will be attending the University of Alberta in an Honors Integrative Physiology program, which is able to keep doors open for geology, paleontology, and medical careers. Now that we are less than 100 days from graduation, I am excited for my future. I am now only 100 and some credits away from graduating university, have 100 opportunities available to me, and most importantly, I have far more than 100 reasons to be grateful. Thank you to my sister, grandparents, aunts, uncles, cousins, and family for being humorous, honest, and of good integrity. Thank you, Mom and Dad, for showing me how hard work gets you places and supporting all of my interests and passions. When my mom told me I could be anything, she was right. Next year, I really will be a bear. This is the University of Alberta mascot. I hope to leave you with this. I hope you follow your dreams 100%, as even the most wild can come true. I really will be a bear after all. Thank you.
I don't sing. Hi, my name is Yoshihiro Yamagami. Sorry, long name. I am Japanese. I'm 18 years old. I was thinking of what I should speak about today. It could be about my family. It could be how much I appreciate my parents, or about how much love I have for my family. But unfortunately, my family does not understand English at all, or trust the Google Translation 100%. So I will just send them a text saying like, I love you, and say something different here for all of you today. By the way, my sister would just reply to me saying like, you, but anyway. Let me tell you, all the reason why I came here. It was not because I dreamed of having life in High School Musical, nor was it because of me trying to be cool by speaking English. No, it was not like that. I just wanted something that would give my life a 180-degree change. 2 years ago, I was feeling like my life in Tokyo was redundant. I was born in Tokyo, and this sounds crazy. I was in one of the biggest cities in the world, and starting to feel like my life in there was boring. So I came to Kelowna with a huge desire to discover excitement. But you know what? After being in Kelowna for 2 months, I got bored. Then I was like, what? That's not what I thought. If I come to Kelowna, I thought I could not be bored for years and years. Then I realized having a happy life does not depend on a place where you belong to. But it depends on how you try to live and where you are. I thought I knew everything of Tokyo and have enjoyed everything of it. But I guess it was wrong. Not to be bored, in other words, to have a meaningful life, we need to face a challenge. No matter how old you are, let me tell you, after this realization, I tried some new things that I would have never tried otherwise. The biggest one of those was playing soccer. I hated soccer. Don't get me wrong, Thai and Hunter. Now soccer is not the worst for me. Anyway, I thought soccer was just like running for 90 minutes and sometimes the game doesn't move at all, nobody scores, and a game still ends 0-0, and I was understanding soccer was such a waste of time, like compared to baseball. I love baseball. Some people here might agree with me, right? Okay, let's stop talking smart about soccer. Well, one night, I had a chance to get to know soccer better since Hunter invited me to play soccer with me. Then he taught me a lot. Like he taught me a basic strategy of soccer, like even though it was a basic thing, like my understanding of soccer totally changed. Soccer was profound. It was not just running. I realized I was judging soccer without tasting. I still do not love soccer because I'm not good at it, but I do not hate it without knowing it. If people invited me to watch a pro game in Europe, I would go now, which I did not 2 years ago. I know now the habit of prematurely judging, which I would say a lot of people do, can limit our life's potential. I am really glad to come to Abilene Hall because I met a lot of people who offered me a thing to try here. I really want to say special thank you to Hunter, first of all. Thank you for changing my perspective. Simon, I'm so sorry, rugby is too scary for me. Yeah. But I promise I will try someday. Scotia, maybe try tomatoes. I love you. Yeah, literally, people should try. Feeling an assumption like I pretty much know everything makes your world narrow. Fellows, try everything before you hate it. Adults, not to be rude, I promise I will try something even when I'm 80. Finally, I really want to appreciate my parents to give me a chance to see the world. When I go back to Japan, I will live the way I live now. So I guess I won't be bored anymore, wherever I go. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Kyle Gassaware, and I'm a Yansi. For all those in the crowd who doesn't know what a Yansi is, it's a fourth generation Japanese, Canadian, and American. And today I'm going to be telling you about my family's history and why I'm proud to be carrying my name into the future. My family first immigrated in 1935 when my grandpa and grandma first arrived in Vancouver. Knowing little to no English, my grandpa became a taxi driver and my grandma became a waitress. They worked hard, eventually accumulating enough money to move from Vancouver to Vernon and put down more permanent residence. Upon settling down in the small town of Vernon, a new problem arose. The shadows of World War II began to appear, which would forever alter the future for all Japanese people in North America. World War II was arduous for all those who endured it. However, out of fear and in the wake of the attacks on Pearl Harbor on December 7, 1941, the American and Canadian governments began interning Japanese citizens. My family was lucky from other Japanese families. We were not interned. However, the farm which my family worked so hard to purchase struggled due to the ostracization against Japanese products and labor. This thus created a pecuniary situation for my family. Even once the war ended, the prejudice lingered into my great-uncle and my dad's early life. These struggles that my grandpa and my grandma fought through taught me to always be thankful for what you have, because in an instant, it can all change. My great-uncle, one of the sons of my grandpa and grandma, named Hiroshio Gasawara, is where I got my middle name from. And as soon as I knew where I got my middle name from, I began to admire the man. Sadly, he passed away before I was born. But my dad often remarks on how excited he would have been to have seen the firstborn son. My great-uncle's life taught me many lessons as I have grown. For instance, the lesson of standing up for all those who can't or are weaker than yourself. This was taught through my uncle's nickname, Hip, which he gained because he was like a hippo, strong and big, always defending his younger brother, who is also my dad's father. The next and possibly one of the most important lessons I have ever learned was in work ethic. And upon hearing my uncle, who worked as a farmer by day, an auto bodyman by night, and even buying and fixing cars as a third way to support his family, clearly showed me that if you have dreams, goals, or aspirations you are trying to achieve, then you have to be willing to work as hard or work nearly to death in order to get there. The lessons that I have learned from my past were vital to creating the young man I became, and am becoming. I only hope moving into my future that I have what it takes to land myself in the legacy of my family and to be admired as one of the greats for many years to come.
Hello, my name is Scotia, and I have found that there are many, many people in my life that I am so grateful for, such as my close friends, teachers, and Yoshi. With this being said, I chose in this speech to shine light on the most substantial role models in my life, my mom and dad, who have each played such a vital role in the development of who I have become as the somewhat adult that stands in front of you all today. I want to begin this letter of gratitude by saying thank you. Firstly, thank you to my mom. You have been there for me at the drop of a hat, whether it was helping me edit papers, listening to hot high school gossip, or giving me substantial life advice that I plan to utilize extensively. You saw my potential and never allowed for me to lose sight of it. You were the one to bring me back to the path of success if I ever wandered off. Most importantly, though, you fought for me. Any and all adversity that life threw at you was not only bravely faced, but conquered. Your seemingly unattainable vision of sending me through 13 years of private schooling in order to give me the best opportunities in life could offer is the reason that all my current and future successes will be because of you. During the most despondent of times, you not only remained present, but exceeded my expectation of how a mother and a best friend should be. I love you more than anything, thank you. Now my dad. For as long as I can remember, you have displayed to me both hard work and sacrifice. This conveyed to me the idea that no matter how arduous the task, one should do whatever it is they can to support the ones they love. And in your case, 1 million kilometers of driving is a sacrifice you had to make in order to provide for my brother Beck and I. Without you, I would definitely not have my driver's license, a good taste in music, or the skills to make a French press coffee. Thank you for never failing to put a smile on my face, and remember that no matter how old I am, I will always be your little girl. I love you. The two of you guided me through my first tentative steps at just 18 months old, and in no time, at 18 years old, I will be taking my first steps into adulthood, and I'll need that same support once again. And I know, without a doubt, that I can depend on you both. No matter the distance or situation, if I ever feel as though my legs might collapse, I have two people I can look to for advice, problem solving, and encouragement with an immense amount of love and zero judgment. I wholeheartedly believe that if I grow up to be half as good a parent as the two of you have been to me, I will succeed. I am eternally grateful for everything, and once again, thank you.
My name is Noah, and I'm here to talk about obstacles. Dad, put your phone down. Camera's on. Obstacles are the most effective way for one to better themselves. These can happen naturally or by one's ignorance. I know that I've faced many obstacles in my life, all of my 18 years. You see me, right? I'm tall. I hit my head on everything. Should start wearing a helmet or something. All kidding aside, without the obstacles I've faced, I wouldn't be the man you see before you. You know, people always beat themselves up after making a mistake. Failing a test, saying something they didn't mean to, backcutting a breath. Making a mistake is common. Mom, you may think I'm perfect, but I have made mistakes. You know, it's a good time to make mistakes. We still have our training wheels on, we have our parents to guide us. Now, if you're on the rugby team, you'll hear Mr. Hill say this all the time. It's not about the mistake, it's all about how you fix it. That stuck with me. Being able to connect that through my life so far has helped me with my persistence And I'm not just pandering to my teachers because that's a theme for this year. It really does help me. The main reason that I'm grateful for my obstacles is because my parents have taught me to be so grateful for everything I'm faced with. Probably the best thing I've ever learned is to face everything with a positive attitude. Every drawback that you come across comes with a lesson to be learned. How do I do this? How do I do this again? Or, please Lord, don't let this happen again. Being grateful for these moments benefits you by being able to remember it as a good memory, keeping it stored in mind. I'd like my family, friends, and teachers to know that I'm forever grateful for however many hours you spent dedicated to making me a better person, whether my parents paid you or not to be my friend. Teaching me my own stupidity at times, and how I've been and could possibly avoid being in a similar situation, or how I've already made that dumb decision that I've been able to dig my way out of the hole from the lessons I've learned from you. You know, I'd love to be up here talking about myself until the end of time, but I may as well let my other classmates speak. Thank you for hearing what I have to say with a little bit of forced wit.
For those of you who don't know me, my name is Jade. As I was writing this speech and looking back at the past 4 years of my life, all I could say is wow. These past years have been filled with growth, failures, good times and bad, and most importantly, self-discovery. One thing that I know for sure is that I would not be the person I am today without the love and support from the people I have in my life. So thank you to all the teachers that have supported me and pushed me to work hard and attain my goals. Thank you, Mrs. Cross, for always being a person I can talk to and making sure I'm okay. Mr. Hill, even though my AP Bio class and I have had multiple tutorials taught by Caitlin Ring because you forgot about them, you have always made AP Bio beyond fun and exciting. Thank you to my amazing parents who have done nothing but show me what it means to work hard, always be grateful, and love unconditionally. Thank you to all my friends who have taught me what it means to be a part of a family that is not by blood, but by choice. And Marissa, even though you look so young that in South Africa we had not one, but two 12-year-old boys ask for your number, you're still my best friend and I love you. Thank you for always crying with me, laughing with me, and of course, watching all those TED Talks with me. You are my sun, my lighthouse, and my disco ball. That's from a TED Talk. Because of all these incredible people, I am not the same person that I was 4 years ago or even a year ago. And thank goodness, or else I would still be wearing blue eyeshadow and dressed like Hannah Montana from head to toe. But now, standing in front of you all today as an almost graduate, I proudly wear the Aberdeen Hall uniform, or at least when Mr. Akers looking. And the blue eyeshadow has magically moved from my eyelids to the puffy bags under my eyes. But aside from my Hannah Montana glow up, I truly have grown into my own individual and I have learned countless lessons along the way, many from which were mistakes. My dad has always told me that character does not come from getting things easy, but rather from overcoming hardships and taking advantage of new opportunities. And this, as I'm sure we all know from personal experience, is entirely true. When I was 8 years old, my family and I moved from South Africa, the country where I was born, to a very new and very cold Canada. We were faced with so many challenges and obstacles, and it just never seemed to end. I remember one day I was so upset because my parents would not buy me a doll I really wanted. My dad bent down to my eye level and told me that we could not afford buying the few groceries we needed, as well as the doll. All I managed to cry out was that life isn't fair, and to my uttermost surprise, he agreed. He said, "You're right, Jade, life isn't fair. But life isn't fair to anyone, and in some odd way, that makes it fair." I was only 9 years old at the time, but I have never forgotten that simple phrase. Life isn't fair. It's not fair to you, it's not fair to me, and it definitely has not been fair to my parents. The life we live is filled with struggles and hardships, but guess what? It's like that for every single human in this crazy world. but it is also filled with endless opportunities, love, compassion, and internal growth, and it is up to us as our own individuals to choose which way we see it. So before I end my speech, I challenge you all today to think, and I mean really think, about how far you have come to be here in this moment. Think about all those obstacles and struggles you overcame and how they sculpted you into the unique, beautiful, and incredible person that you are. So as I stand up here today as an almost graduate, and I look around in my life and all the people I am so grateful to have in it, all I can say is wow. I could not be more proud or grateful for my teachers, my family, and the amazing grad class of 2019. Thank you.
Hi everyone, my name is Sierra, and before I start my speech, I just want to thank some individuals. First, my homeroom teacher, Mr. Brooks, who has mentored me through all my hardships and has put up with all my sass, which is a lot, so what can I say? I'm impressed. Also, Miss Hill, for teaching me how to draw 3D objects in grade 8 math so I could pass. And teaching my chem class some pretty important life lessons. Did you guys know that if you light your alcohol on fire, well, never mind. Mr. Twig, who's not here as he works in junior school, but I want to thank him because he's inspired me to pursue my passion of soccer, providing me with the opportunity to join the soccer team in grade 7. Being the youngest on the team has brought challenges but opportunities as well, shaping me into the student athlete I am today. Thank you. And to all the other teachers that have guided me through high school, thank you for putting up with me. Also, thank you to the Grade family and the Polsey family, because without them, we would not be standing here today. Second, big shout out to Hunter, who has been through thick and thin with me since we were 4, and listening to all my problems. Even though you annoy me most of the time, I know that you're someone that I can trust, and I promise that Sunday you can come to the sauna. I was thinking actually this Saturday, I'm off work, but Hunter, I will miss you so much next year, and you have great things ahead of you. I'm super proud of you. Third, my parents. Mom, thank you for driving me from sport to sport, and accepting me for who I am, and never doubting me. Also, I really appreciate you pushing me to be the best I can, and always making sure that you have food for me in your office when I'm hungry. I'm going to find a different office when I might be next year, that's for sure. Oh, also, thank you for trying your best to call me the right name, Sid, Shay, Sierra. I'm not sure why you named all your kids S's, but that was your decision. Dad, I appreciate the delicious meals and the family time spent with you. Leaving your family to support your children was a huge decision, and you made sure that we would have the best childhood. And so far I can say it's been a blast. Also, thank you for transferring me money when I need it. I owe you big time. Tab's pretty long as I can imagine. Grandma and Papu, although you guys can't be here today, I want to say some thanks. Without you guys, I would not have been able to attend this wonderful school, or I would not even be standing here before you. Thank you for your long and meaningful life lessons. Although it seems I don't listen, I promise you I do. Anyway, I could thank many more people, but I only have about 3 more minutes up here, so I'm gonna get right to it. Also, I am sorry in advance for crying, but yeah. I believe in a lot of things, but I'm not gonna stand up here and tell you everything that I believe in, or every important aspect of my life. Most of you that know me are probably thinking, wow, you speak about soccer or sports. Well, I fooled you this time. There might be something about sports, but anyways, for those of you that know me, I'm a very shy person, and I don't like to express myself very often. Being assertive and open is definitely a challenge for me. It doesn't stop me from wanting to strengthen my bond that I shared with my sister Sydney and my brother Chip. Where do I even start? Sid, we are sisters. We fight a lot. We have both had our moments where we just want to punch each other in the face and scream at each other. I can recall some, maybe last night. But believe it or not, I love you and I know you love me too. I am more than lucky to be able to call you my sister and I wouldn't want it any other way. Although you should be looking up to me, I am your older sister, and I am 5'5", nearly 5'4". Your determination, hard work, resilience, persistence, and honesty are just some of the traits hidden behind your beauty, your athletic ability to play any single sport possible while maintaining an average of 98%, and not to mention your musical talent that you have taught yourself. You will soon have your own album, I'm sure of it. I am so proud of you, and there's so much more ahead of you. Not only have you shaped me into a better person, but our bond has become stronger through athletics. When everyone hears about the Kaloji sisters, they think, oh, those two athletes. Yeah, they're right. Sydney and I have played about every single sport the school had or has to offer. From soccer, to swimming at one point, to golf at one point, to ultimate frisbee, volleyball, basketball, track. Yeah, we've done it all. About a week ago, I was talking to my mom. She told me that she talked to Mr. Garreau about how Sid was upset that she was not able to get to play on the same line as me. Very much. And that was the only reason that she joined ultimate frisbee. My face lit up when I couldn't wait to call us a Kaloji duo once again. Sid, you know more about me than I know about myself. Sneaking into my room when I'm sleeping to check my messages, or eavesdropping on me when I'm FaceTiming whomever. It's a skill, that's for sure. On a serious note though, I hope we can continue our Kaloji duo when you come to join me on the soccer team at the University of Regina. Shay. Oh boy. Probably the most annoying brother that anyone could possibly have. But deep down, I love you, somewhere. Being 7 years apart has only brought us closer together and made me learn the deep understanding of patience and how to build a thick skin. Even though your punches and kicks hurt, I know that you truly care about me, and although you won't and don't admit it, you will miss me next year. I will never forget the fact that you still sleep with me when you're 11, and although it's annoying and painful, and I do get an occasional slap in the face, I think that I won't miss it one bit. My mom tells me that I'm out of the house soon and I will miss your company as I sleep in my own dorm room with peace and quiet. I hope one day you will look back and think, wow, Sierra really did do everything for me. She drove me to hockey, bought me food, let me play terrible songs in her car, painfully sat and listened to grade 6 drama, and so much more. Wow, she's the best. I see it coming, Shay. All in all, I am so appreciative of everyone has been involved in my life. My sister and my brother have had the biggest impact on me and helped me become the person I am today. My sister and brother are not just only my siblings by force, but my best friends by choice. As I take my next steps in life on an athletic scholarship to the University of Regina, I'd like to thank my coaches who have supported and helped push me. I will always keep the memories and lessons that I have made and learned from you guys, and thank you for everything that you've done. Sid, it's now your turn to take on Shay. Good luck. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Marissa. So I came to Aberdeen Hall not so long ago in grade 10. Coming from a huge public high school in Vancouver, I had no idea what to expect here at a considerably smaller university prep school. I solely knew that, like most adolescents, I would likely go through social and academic challenges as I grow into my own individuality. So I mentally prepared myself for that. But as I stand here today, I realize that no type of mental preparation could have prepared me for the experiences and hardships I have endured through these past couple of years. Even though I only spent 3 years at this school, I can definitely say that I have learned more here than I have my entire life. By that, I don't just mean academic-wise. I mean, yes, I learned about the complexities of the human body in AP Bio, studied Hamlet in AP English, and of course, we'll never forget that y equals mx plus b thanks to Mr. Kostaka. However, I've also obtained some of the most significant life lessons from the experiences I've encountered during my time at Aberdeen, most of which came from mistakes I've made. If there's one lesson that I could take away from the past couple of years here, it is that you must take the circumstances you're facing in life and attempt to make the best of it. I believe that no matter what type of challenges you're confronted with, there usually always is a solution, and if there isn't one, it is solely up to you to formulate one for yourself. I think several of my peers can relate when I say that my high school years were some of the best and most challenging years. I outgrew some people who I thought would be in my life forever. I've failed some tests, and even got my mom's car stolen once when I accidentally left the car keys in the car. Luckily for my mom and for me, it was found a couple days later. Additionally, I ended up redoing the test I didn't do so well on. And as for the relationships I outgrew, I ended up finding new friends who I've formed deeper and more meaningful friendships with. Despite these challenges being a pain in the neck, I realized that they were a crucial part of my growth. It was from these types of situations where I learned to overcome various types of obstacles in my life. Furthermore, they have helped me appreciate the more joyful and exhilarating moments that life has to offer. Now, I would be bluntly lying if I had said that I had gone through all these couple years alone. I would like to thank my peers for constantly motivating me to better myself, and my teachers for their endless help and encouragement in achieving my goals. Furthermore, I'd like to thank my parents for the sacrifices they have made in order for me to succeed, as well as for their unconditional love and constant support. And finally, I'd like to thank my best friend, Jade Richard Human, for the extraordinary memories that we've made together, which made all the challenges I've faced worth going through. I'll never forget the first time we hung out and got lost hiking on Knox Mountain for 3 hours on one of the hottest days in the summer with no water. Or that time we almost got attacked by your grandma's ostriches in South Africa during spring break when we attempted to take a picture with them. Jade, I know that I make fun of you constantly, and even though you're as bad with directions as I am and not very useful to go on hikes with, I'm incredibly blessed to have you by my side this year, and I love you so much. I'm immensely grateful for all these people in my life, for without them, I would not be where I am today regarding my personal and academic accomplishments. So in just a few months, I and several of my peers will be moving into the next stage of our lives of attending university, where we will be splurging way too much money on school textbooks and coffee. By then, I might forget some of my English lit terms, sorry Mr. Oz, but I don't think I'll ever fail to forget the people who motivated and supported me all these past years, as well as the valuable life lessons that I've learned here at Aberdeen, which has taught me so much more than y equals mx plus b. Thank you.
When we were younger, we were told we should always follow our dreams. As Roman philosopher Seneca once said, we are more often frightened than hurt. We suffer more from imagination than reality. Fear is nothing more than a state of mind. To answer part of the question to what happened to that carefree little kid, think about this. As children, we barely had any fears. We tried as much as our little hearts desired, or at least what our parents would allow us. Children generally embrace everything, unless it's proven trustworthy or dangerous. May have been the pressures of society, family matters, or whatever obstacles we faced, we developed the fear of something, and that changed how we thought and felt. The impact of fear is displayed in the book The Alchemist. When they are young, at that point in their lives, everything is clear, and everything is possible. They are not afraid to dream and yearn for everything they want to see happen in their lives. But as time passes on, a mysterious force begins to convince them it is impossible for them to realize their personal legend. This shows that fear can make us believe the worst situations for ourselves, as it is our overactive minds that attempt to make us prepared in the future predict whatever life may throw at us. The what-ifs that sink in our minds tend to be our fears. Don't get me wrong though, to be afraid is necessary. It is a primal instinct, after all. It keeps us from dangerous things. We need to acknowledge, however, there are indeed real-life dangers that we also need to realize we create fears ourselves and react even if there is no danger. Fear is what makes us feel trapped. It makes us, the once free kids, feel trapped. I believe all of us can change the way we think about fear and how it influences us. I also believe the reason why most people don't overcome their fears because we simply don't know how. Many subconsciously may believe that they can't overcome their fear. But you can. We can. We just need to understand some critical aspects. We need to understand that people, funny enough, fling into their deepest fears because in some weird, twisted way, it had become a part of us. We need to understand that fear can be struggling is okay. But most importantly, we need to understand we are not our fears. It's important to identify what our fears are and what the root cause is. We need to look in a more positive manner, as it is not an obstacle to overcome, but rather a challenge to make you stronger. Fears cannot and will not control your life. In the end, it is all up to us. It is in fact our life, and we control our narrative. Looking at fear in such a perspective, it doesn't help. I don't want to fail. My fear of failure and mistakes is what holds me back. Every single person makes a mistake daily. It is part of natural life. So looking at it this way, my fear of failure kind of seems silly, doesn't it? I've always had the image of perfection. I strive for being perfect and wish everyone and everything could like me. But let's be honest here, there's always someone that hates you, no matter what you try to do, and there's always something that you do wrong, no matter what you do. So that kind of seems silly also. I want everyone to know that even though your fears may seem silly, they are still very real. But in the end, no matter what your fears are, no matter how many times fears has overtaken your life, no matter how many obstacles you face, no matter how scared you've been, you can go out and pursue your dreams and goals. I ask you to remember that fear shouldn't shut us down. It should wake us up. It should be a guiding light, not a destructive darkness. It should be an opportunity for growth, not something that can shrink us down. Most importantly, let that carefree child run free so that your fears can be insignificant when you go out and pursue your goals. Thank you.
Good morning, students, parents, and teachers. My name is Justin Charney, and it is a privilege to be with you today. On behalf of all the speakers, I would like to thank you for your investments of time and energy to attend this event. As a drummer, that's not something I take lightly. Although, I think you will find this time to be of use if you manage to gain an insight which extends beyond this moment, and maybe even beyond yourself. The past 17 years of my life comprises many beginnings. There was the first, made of early experiences, subconsciously crafting my perception of the world. The second, more serious beginning to find myself. And the third beginning, repeatedly providing gestalt as I discover more about my place in the universe. Today, I'm here to talk about 3 periods of my life through the reflections encountered during the writing process over the course of a day. Here, time is anything but linear, as I travel between the present and past to remember the stories and insights which have shaped me. Unfortunately, or fortunately, I cannot tell you anything you don't already know in your heart, though I hope, through my story, you can recall what is most true to you, and set a cause in motion to live with those truths as part of your identity. Now close your eyes and picture this. It's 5 a.m., the alarm goes off, and you are on the attack. You wake up and put yourself on your path. As you gather your footing, you hear the gym calling, and you respond until that last fateful rep. You then step under a shower head and turn the handle just enough for icicles to fire upon and bounce off you, gliding down the skin, yet piercing the mind. The heart, the pump of life, beats against the constricting muscles as blood charges to every tissue in the body, reminding you that you are still alive. The moon sets as you rise to reflect on where you have come from and where you are going. Open your eyes. This is just one of many beginnings, but it is always mine. As I come and sit at my desk to write this speech, I catch my reflection off the glass top. It provides pause for me to muse on who I am in relation to the youthful reveries of what I would become. Maybe it was the luminescent star stickers which covered my room, the Smash Mouth and Elton John which played off my blue-eyed bandana through the night, or my parents' unwavering care for me that made me dream of becoming an astronaut, a rock star, and then a doctor. Though I no longer plan on becoming any of the latter, the emotional truths which surround those aspirations are deeply rooted in what I most value today. The astronaut in me read Stephen and Lindsay Hawking's George's Secret Key to the Universe and developed my curiosity. The 8-year-old rock star tangoed rose-clenched in teeth with his sister at any opportunity and found joy in lighting others up. The doctor became fascinated with science and wanted to contribute to others because of the example his parents set for him. But why do I tell you this? Those are some of my favorite memories. However, what we perceive as gifts can only yield so much. Where we're really sculpted is through our challenges. Think about your life for a moment and question, would it really have been better without the difficulties? I think most of you will believe this to be a fallacy, and here's why. Life is not about being so much as it is about becoming. Without your problems, you would not have half the strength, courage, or capacity that you do today, and that would be your biggest problem. Challenges provide us an opportunity to face them willingly and hope that by struggling against them, we may grow to become bigger than the problems themselves. Above all, remember this: if you can find grace in your worst moments, then maybe they can become your best. Whatever life delivers, find a way to love it, and your world will be magnificent. As the sun sits high in the sky and dawn fades into midday, a beam of light peers through my window, illuminating a poster from the first concert I performed, causing me to think of the role of love and passion in my life. At 10 years old, I began drumming with my mentor Justin Gordon, and just 2.5 years later, I was performing alongside some of the biggest stars, and they gathered tens of millions of views online. Only months before this, I was a 7th grade student who left school and enrolled in online courses to pursue my craft for over 8 hours a day. Later, I learned what I had instinctively known then. In the words of Julius Caesar, if you want to take the island, burn the boats. At first, I really didn't know where drumming would take me or how I would get there, but I had a vision, the will to realize it, and most importantly, a love for the journey. Reflecting on my pursuit of becoming a touring drummer, I realized it was one of the best decisions I ever made. Being responsible for the direction of my life early on taught me so much about myself and the world, particularly about the power of love and celebration. See, if I'd waited until I reached my ultimate vision for drumming before celebrating the little successes, it's likely that I would have given up along the way. So many of us get caught into thinking we must achieve this or that before we can feel good. Then we get to what we thought we wanted, and the chase for something new starts. We are not so fulfilled by attainment as we are by meaningful pursuit. Direction is more important than destination. However, if you never stop to appreciate where you are, you've missed the whole point. Make your goals difficult so you can grow, but make love and celebration easy so you can feel good along the way. Catch yourself doing the little things right, because appreciating those beautiful idiosyncrasies about life and about you will make all the difference. The dim light of dusk now encumbers my study, calling for a conclusion on this traverse of time. The clock ticks towards our everlasting fate, and a responsibility is bestowed upon each of us to make those seconds which turn to minutes, minutes which turn to hours, and hours which turn to our lives meaningful. Time speaks louder than any fears or uncertainty. Let it remind you that it is the one thing that is equal, so don't waste it. Take responsibility for the quality of your life, and in this, you will find your freedom. When I do close your eyes and imagine my morning rituals, you saw a part of the daily responsibility I have to myself. It isn't easy waking up at 5 in the morning, lifting weights, and taking cold showers, but it shouldn't be. Discover what you owe to yourself, physically, emotionally, financially, and put the oxygen mask on yourself first so you can truly give back to those you love. If you have 100% responsibility, not for the events, but for the meanings and actions that come from them, you have 100% control. If you are not willing to settle for less than you can be, then it is time to recalibrate and re-engage. You can write the software that makes that mind, that body, and that soul happy. Everything that truly matters is in your hands. Decide what you will do with that power and go after what you want. Remember, your destiny is in the here and now. There are no coincidences. Thank you.
Awesome. And for all our speakers, one last round of applause, please. Well, that's a wrap on our speeches for this year. So thank you to the final 10. As I said at the start, I hope you leave feeling like these kids are profound as they head off into adulthood, because I know that they had a lot to say, and I appreciate it. So have a great day, and we'll see you guys.
No tech issues today? Nope, this worked all right. I know, weird, eh? Yeah, this is the third time. It was weird.
The Wi-Fi was kind of wrong.